Alright, check, check, 1 2 1 2. Okay, cool. What's up, guys? It's Black Adam, and this is going to be a bit of a different video today. Right, this is going to be the first voiceover video I've ever done, and I'm pretty sure I want to do more stuff like this. I don't really know yet, but I'm working out how I'm going to do this right now. I'm probably going to end up writing out like the entire story on a piece of paper in my notes and reading it off while I'm doing it, but who knows. Without further ado, let's just get right into the video. And this story time takes place at my job that I actually work at right now. Currently, I work at a car wash. It's a nice car wash. It brings in a good amount of money. I get paid well. I get a real good amount of tips, and I really don't ever go home without money in my pocket. And one specific day, which was actually 2 weeks ago, a Karen, or a crazy lady as we put it, came into the car wash. And at first I seen she had a baby in the back. I'm like, all right, we need to be a little bit careful, a little hesitant on spraying where the windows are, because obviously we don't want to get the baby wet. So as you come into our car wash, we're going to be facing the car. We're going to guide you in. There's going to be a person on your right and a person on your left. The person on your right is going to be spraying on bug spray onto the front of the car and the windshield, and is going to be spraying off the entire front and the right side of the car, as well as the back, and wiping off the back of it with a brush that we put solution on to actually make sure that there's no dust or dirt or anything left on the back of the car. After that, we'll send her through the wash. But this lady, she wanted to do things her own particular way this time. So we just went with it so we could get things done easily as possible, because we could already tell that, well, this was no ordinary lady, and she was not going to listen to what we had to say without proving her own voice to be more powerful than ours, I guess. I don't know. But with that said, she just decides to say, okay, do you guys do interior? We say no, but we do have our stuff to set up to where you can do it yourself. There's a setup station over there next to the self-serve. You can do it yourself, or you don't have to. It's up to you. And she says, okay, then I'll just take a basic wash. We're like, all right, all we need to do is finish spraying down your car, and you're all good to go, and we'll send you through the wash. And then she starts asking all these questions about, oh, is that safe for our child? I was like, well, yeah, we typically don't ever get the water inside unless the windows are down. And let me tell you, her boyfriend was not listening at all. While we were guiding him in, he decided, hey, let me keep rolling my window down. So every time my coworker Jackson, his name's not really Jackson, we're just calling him that for the sake of the video. But every time my coworker Jackson went to go spray off the passenger side of the car, he would have his window down. He wouldn't even acknowledge him. He'll be like, hey, can you roll your window up for me so I can spray off the side of the car? He says, all right, I got you. He rolls it up, we spray it off, and then he rolls it back down. Then he goes back, he's like, hey, can you roll the window up? We are about to send you through. And he's like, all right. He rolls it back up, but then as soon as his girlfriend starts raising her voice, he decides to roll it back down. And I'm just sitting there like, dude, come on. And so I get my other coworker, we're gonna call him John, just for the sake of the video. John, he comes in, he's like, hey, what's going on? Why isn't the car through the wash yet? So I have to explain to him, well, the lady, she wants us to do interior, and I'm trying to tell her that we don't do interior, but we actually have the stuff for her to do it herself. And so he explained the exact same thing that I did, and as she just keeps getting hot-headed, wanting to do her own thing, she gets out of the car saying, all right, so now I've been patient with y'all punk butts, but we're not going to say the actual word because demonetization. I know, right? She says, I've been patient with y'all, and yet y'all just keep giving me BS answers and BS stuff, or this, that, and the third, and I'm just like, okay, I'm going to step back, I'm going to step in here. And so I stepped into the office where my other coworker Jackson was sitting, and he's like, nope, I'm not going out there, you guys can deal with that. I'm like, all right, just get ready to call the owner of the police, whichever one seems necessary. And as that happened, I go back out into the wash area, and I see that my coworker is talking to her, and she's getting awfully close to him, to the point where if she even pushes her hand into his chest, he will be like feeling her hit his chest repeatedly. Like, I've been patient with you, and yet still nothing. And yet we've been doing everything she asked us to, and she just keeps thinking, oh, I can do this when I really can't. But needless to say, my manager sees all of this going down on the cameras, and he decides, all right, let me step out there, see what's going on, see if anything I can resolve quickly. But actually, he came out there, he stood right next to me, and we watched all of this go down, and her boyfriend decides to get out the car after she sees my manager. So he gets out the car, he's standing right by it, right next to the trunk where it's wet and everything. He's leaning on it. I can see that he's about to slip and fall, but I don't want to say anything because, like, I'm not about to get roped into this and have a grown man yelling at me because he's stupid to realize that he's about to slip and go right off of that car. But needless to say, I just kept my mouth shut and I stood there waiting for him to fall. So as all of this is happening, she just finally says, all right, forget it. You guys almost got my baby wet and hurt with all this concoctions that y'all got going on. I'm like, all right, first of all, your husband is the one who decided to keep rolling down his window. I didn't actually say that. In the moment, I probably shouldn't have, considering I'm like a teenager. I just turned 17, and this is being recorded on the 31st of August, just so you guys know. My birthday's today. So after she just says we did this, that, and the third, she gives up on it, and before she can go away, I run inside of the office, I grab a pen and paper, and I write down her license plate number in case she ever comes back, or anything or anyone in her car comes back, so we can be like, all right, so we have this situation pending on this, and we just want to know what's going on, because she almost assaulted one of our workers, and we can't have that happening, this, that, and the third. Well, I wrote it down just because I thought it might be useful. I wasn't really thinking about anything like that. I wrote it down because I thought, hey, this will be useful in the future in case insurance is needed. So, you feel me? After all of this happens, she just decides to get in her car, slam the doors. Meanwhile, we still have her money, her $5. And she's just like, nah, don't do nothing to the car. Y'all can get the F away. And that was the end of it. We just let her go out, even though we still had to dry off her car, or else the paint would be affected by the actual stuff we sprayed on it beforehand. But she didn't want to listen, so we just let her leave. And that was the end of that situation. And actually, what that bell you just heard was actually the alarm or bell letting us know that a car came in. So I'm actually at work recording this, which is why you hear fans in the background. I'm not using as good as of a mic as I would be if I was using like my headset mic, but you know what I mean. But that's gonna be the end of this video. I don't really know if she's gonna come back or if she ever will, but who knows? If she actually does, let's see if she's gonna be nicer. Maybe she'll actually apologize for what she did. But this is going to be Black Adam signing off for now. I'll see you guys in the next video. I really want to know what you think about this new voiceover thing. I'm trying something different for once, and maybe you'll like it, maybe you won't. Who knows? I'll see you guys later.
Located a bomb. Make your way to its location and defuse it.
Let's see the light now. I have the rabbit. Changing magazine.